that only, like what are some, like let us say we are going to build some application, so what are a few things, like before deciding a database to use, what are some like things we always look for in the requirements or in our application? So let us say we are going to apply design a new application, what should points we should note to find out our database?
I think there's a concept of basically what is called a cap.
Okay.
So by using that, you need to figure out like what exactly you wanted to achieve, whether you wanted to achieve the availability, or whether you wanted to achieve the performance,
Okay.
yeah. So and another point is like. For example, if you are working on a or finding out a pattern between finding out a pattern within the data which is you going to store eventually, then you can
Hmm.
use the NoSQL. For example, you can find a better pattern, anomalies to be find in the NoSQL than in the SQL. But suppose if you wanted to create a particular report MIS kind of system, then
Hmm. Hmm.
you will definitely go with the SQL one. Because yeah, but the point is like whatever you may choose, the point is like if you wanted a tight coupling with the schema,
Okay.
definitely you always go with the SQL. But NoSQL defines out the properties like it basically it's not tightly coupled to the schema as per se.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
Other than
Okay.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned cap theorem. So like you mentioned cap theorem. So what cap? How cap theorem is useful? Like what are the things like we? What are the things cap theorem tells us?
Uh, so capitalism is basically uh, tells us a certain viewpoint of where we sees our data to be. For example, like uh, like let's say the element of it. So it basically says is like C for consistency, A for availability, and
Right.
P is for partitioning, I guess. Yeah, partitioning, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
consistency, if you wanted to consistent, or if you wanted to show the consistent data all around, and with and data with the normalization as per se. So you reduce the redundancy and so per se, and you wanted to be a consistent. Suppose for example, if you wanted to use the distributed system as per se, so you wanted the consistency throughout the distributed system. Otherwise what will happen is like if there is no consistency between the systems. So suppose in one of the distributed system, if I pull out the data, that is different. And in another location where there's a database or data centers are there, so if you pull out the data from there, then a different system, then you get the different data altogether. And
Okay.
basically in two of the three actually in the cap theorem, you wanted to achieve at least two of the points, because
Okay. Okay.
achieving all 3 points is not possible right now in the current infrastructure. So for example, you can go up with the consistency and availability, but
Okay.
you may lack into the area of the partitioning as well.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I
Okay.
think this is,
Fine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Fine. Yeah. So let us like so what languages you are most comfortable with? Like Java, you have used, right?
Yeah, yeah, Java. Yeah.
Okay. So you mostly write on Java. Okay. Fine. So I just let us then design some application. Like let us. So you have used Crick Info, right? Like Crick Info, you have must have seen. Crick Info is there. Cricket related websites are there, right?
Yes, 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 correct.
Yeah. So in the Cricket Info, we have seen like there is a commentary, live score, and
Mm-hmm.
any score about the match, about match information, player information. All those things are there
Correct.
live. So let us design such kind of application. So what are your thoughts? What how you will be designing all those things? Any thought on that?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So first of all, while designing all those kind of a system where you need real time, for example, a real time scores, or let's say the same things goes in with the forex application as well. Suppose transactions goes on and on, five paisa down for rupee, 5 paisa increase for rupee, right? So you need some sort of system. For example, how you design the system, so you need some type of some type of so basically, suppose if I were to create quick
Hmm.
quick info
Okay.
or quick bus type system. So first I
Okay.
need a lot, like what are the things which are changing in the real time. So for example, scores are changing in the real time, right? So I need to
Okay.
get the score from some of the system. I
Hmm.
don't know whether, irrespective of what the system is, I want to get the scores, which ball is currently bowling, which batsman is currently playing, and what is the over basically happened and happened down. So I want
Okay.
those little points by using the APIs. Like suppose, for example, in our Forex application, we are using the data which is being which is we have which is being
Okay.
gathered from the routers. So actually,
Okay.
you have heard of the router, I guess. So
Yes.
router is a system which is which basically give you the live of the transaction which is happening across the world, and it has a
Okay.
longer feed. So for example, I need that kind of interface to be provided in my system, so that I get
Okay.
the real time scores and all those things. So first of all, I need to either way, I need to create it my own. For creating the own, you need to have to go through the legal and the regulatory compliance to get through the
Okay.
data first. And if I wanted
Okay.
to get it from somewhere, suppose if I wanted to get it from the QuickBus, so I need to have a talk with the QuickBus, and then by paying some
Okay.
money, I can get their APIs, the licensing, and all those things. So
Okay.
once I get those things, the second point, which through which the people got attracted, is by the UI. So I need to design a respective kind of UI, so that it will be more interactive. And I other than that, now I'm not sure about the Craig bus, but when you look into the Quick Info, so it got all the database of all the matches which has happened in the past. So I think
Okay.
that sort of infrastructure we will require. So understanding, I think, since it is a mm-mm, since it is a
Okay.
database with having, think,
Okay.
SQL database will suffice our problem, I guess.
Okay. So
We
why,
will
like, why we are choosing SQL? Like, any particular thing?
mm, because let's try to understand, like, uh, can
Hmm.
we okay, uh, because it's mostly the data. Like suppose one match happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can have n numbers of variables which can capture all the data within a particular zone. So for example, one match happened between England and Australia. So you
Okay.
have home side, then you have the away side, then you get how many runs are scored, then which bowler now,
Okay.
which bowler has conceded this many runs. And okay, no, I think by using the SQL you can have the joint. Yes, I think.
Yeah.
I think SQL. I'm just understanding, like, why no SQL should not be preferred. I'm thinking in
Yeah.
that way. So I think no SQL can. No. Okay. Wait a minute. Um, I think initial thought would be to going with the
Fine.
SQL
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with SQL. Then, what are the things like? Okay, we are using SQL and we are storing the data there. So, what to do now? Like,
Sorry, your question. Can you repeat again?
No, it was not a question. I said it's like okay, let us agree on MySQL. We are using MySQL as our database. What are
Mhm.
other stuff we will be thinking of should take care of?
Uh, I think site reliability should be there.
Okay.
So yeah, otherwise, like suppose the match is going on and our site got killed,
Yeah. Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's frustrated the viewers as well.
True. True.
So that is the primary thing. Once our production is up and ready, after that.
Okay.
Other than that, while building the system, we have gone with the SQL, and then we have the live feeding APIs, and we have the UI setup. Other than that, mm, we have not made it
Fine.
well.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah, fine. That's good. Okay. So what? So you have built REST APIs. APIs you have built, right?
Yes, yes.
So REST APIs you must have wrote like I just wanted to know what is REST here actually in the REST APIs.
Uh, REST is basically architectural. Basically REST. You asking for the REST stand for?
Yeah, yeah. Why REST? What is RESTful APIs and all those things?
So it's basically when you talked about the REST, so REST is a structural design, not as like a SOAP, which is basically a protocol. So when I try to understand, like REST is basically representational state transfer.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so it basically is used uh, to create the API, and also there are six different it's basically developed by the Ray Fieldings in 2000. So it's
Hmm.
basically tells us like uh,
Okay.
it's basically a
So
different
you
set
so
of
you so you have
yeah.
used we whenever we call an API like HTTP is there. HTTP is a base protocol.
Yeah.
So in the HTTP there are get put post are there, right?
Yes, yes.
So
HTTP
what
was
are
there.
get so what are get put post these things?
These are the basically the HTTP bus through which we define out the request, like whether we are getting the data from the server, or we are requesting the or we are putting the data into the server. So basically, if I say get me the data from the server, so basically I created one get request, and I placed that request to the server, and then the server responded us with the data.
Okay.
And when I say a post is basically it's basically the insert statement, like insert statement, and it basically works whenever I create a request. So it basically is a particular resource which keeps on hitting the server, which keeps hitting the server, and then that resource will return something out of it. So for example, for the get, it will get some data. For the put, it will update a resource. For the post, it will insert a uh, insert a resource, and then for the delete is will delete the resource from the database or from the
Okay.
transaction system, whatever you are using.
Okay. 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 Uh, so Akash, these are the questions I wanted to ask. If you have any questions for me, you can please ask.
uh, yeah, sure. So can I know, like, in which like what currently project is running in the Apollo?
Okay. So Apollo has a lot of projects running. I can tell about my team, like which team I am working. So we are building a kind of inquiry system where for the patients or like for any user who wants to see a doctor and he has some symptoms. So a person will come to our chatbot kind of. There is a UI chatbot kind of where they will tell like, okay, I'm having these problems and So at the end, like we will keep asking questions like, okay, are you also having this fever? How much fever you have? And similarly, like these kind of questions we will ask, and at the end, like we will tell, okay, you should look at this data. So this is one thing we are building. Like so this is one of the thing we are building.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so basically, in the chatbot itself, we have a
Yes.
certain type of questions, or are we like in the more modern chatbots, like how we are, displaying the options like this. This is the things that you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are doing like this, right?
Yeah, so we are doing like let us say user comes and
Hmm.
we ask for what kind of symptom you are having. So the
Uh-huh.
user says like, I'm feeling feverish or vomiting kind of. So
Okay.
once the user told like, okay, these are the symptom, this is the symptom, then we ask questions on that, like, are you having, what kind of fever you having? A sharp fever? Then we give up three options like sharp,
Ah,
mild.
okay, okay, okay. Got your point.
So
Got your point.
then we will keep asking such questions, and at
Uh-huh.
the end, like we keep suggesting more questions. So this is there are two things like suggesting a new symptom, and suggesting at the end suggesting the disease. Like I think you, so we at the end like we'll tell, okay, I think you have this thing COVID-19 or something like. Then you should look at this doctor.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Actually, in my previous project,
Yes, yes.
we are also building the ICCI for the ICCI bank. We are
Okay.
creating a chat box by using the NLP.
Okay.
So, but the point is like they don't want these type of options. But I
Okay.
keep on suggesting like this should be there because not everyone going to type. Suppose someone is operating through the mobile, then how is going to type like this one? But no,
Okay. Okay.
that is a different story. Okay, let
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
be. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what we will do is like, I will share my feedback with my colleagues, and then
Sure,
we will
sure.
see what we can do. Okay,
Sure.
okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Thanks a
thanks,
lot, Ankush.
Akash.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye,
Have a good night. Bye bye.
bye.